There comes a time in the life of every BookTube event participant that they have to admit that they did not finish their TBR. I had much more trash I wanted to read. I almost got there. There was only a couple more books, but I just don't have time to do it, I don't think, and maybe one of them wasn't even trash. So this is going to be a combo discussion of a couple of the books I read that I haven't discussed yet, and wrap up of Garbaugust for me. Here we have, you know what? Okay, you're not going to be able to see that. Take my word for it. This is the Garbaugust bingo card. And there's some stuff on here. I didn't do enough on it to really warrant trying to check it off or anything. But there are some books on here. There are some categories on here that I noticed that I did manage to check off. The first one is nonfiction trash. And on this channel, we don't acknowledge nonfiction as being books, but today I will. I'll make an exception, and this book was published around 2020. We don't really acknowledge books written after 1980, but I will make another exception for that as well. I hope people don't take me seriously on this stuff. But anyway, but basically I don't read newer stuff. I don't read trendy stuff. Not that I wouldn't, but I read the stuff I love. And but I did read this book, which dovetails right into the nonfiction trash. And let me see if I can find my... I thought I took downloads of this stuff so we can have some lovely visuals. Oh yeah, here we go. Did I do it? Okay, this is what I read. This is a nonfiction book. Another thing I try to avoid on this channel is to talk about politics. This is Ask Not, the Kennedys and the Women They Destroyed by Maureen Callahan. Very juicy book. It's exactly what it says it is. It's every woman, whether she's a family member or just victimized by the Kennedy family, going way back. It's very well written, very creatively organized. It's not chronological. Well, I started to say I don't like talk about politics on here, but this really isn't that political because she's writing it. She's a columnist of the Daily News, I think, gossip columnist for many years. She's written a lot of books about the New York scene. She wrote a book about the glamour New York post-New Wave scene of models and stuff in the 80s. She writes like a dishy kind of stuff, so I think it qualifies as nonfiction trash in the greatest sense. It is a very serious subject. It can be a very bleak book in parts. It's got some uplifting parts, not very many though. It's a very problematic clan. There are Kennedys on both sides of the political aisle now, so I'm going to just say that doesn't enter into it that much. I think it'll appeal to people who hate rich people. Or not even rich people, but like a kind of an old family, power, Eastern elite kind of behavior that this book, like the last book I read, like that dumb Facebook memoir I read last year, uses the exact same quote from Great Gatsby about careless people. And I think more of when I read this stuff like this, and a lot of the stuff that goes on in this book is appalling. It says it's the Kennedys and the women they destroyed, but it's also the Kennedys and the high school girls they destroyed, and the 15-year-old babysitters they destroyed. And there's people who are murdered. There's people who died because of their association with the Kennedys. Many women have died. So many plane crashes, so many drunken car wrecks. Probably, there's varying degrees, of course, and there's some cousins that are even worse. I'm probably the most despicable person I can even think of is Teddy Kennedy and all the shit he pulled. Anyway, and I'm a Democrat, or I was a Democrat before I gave up on both parties, but it's dark. It's dark stuff. But I think of that other Gatsby quote, or that other F. Scott Fitzgerald quote, or maybe it was Zelda Fitzgerald, but it's the rich are different than you and me. And this is one of those books that documents that. If you like, if you've read about Jeffrey Epstein, if you've read about all these extended families of these dynastic figures that have been in power for decades. There's just some, there's a lot of what there is, and it's not just America. I almost said there's in America, but there isn't. It's everywhere. There's a lot of deference to power. There's a lot of deference to tradition. It could be the royal family, could be, the Catholic Church in Boston. There's many different power bases, and it's just a strange thing to me. I'll never understand why people defer to power. Like, people love it. People love to do favors for the rich. People love to make excuses for the rich. And I don't just mean the rich like a guy or a woman who worked really hard at their business and has very successful and leaves it to their kids. I'm talking about these dynasties, this dynastic rich kind of people who have these legacies that they want to protect, and these names that are so important to themselves. And that even applies to the Trump family as well, although they're considered gauche and trash compared to like the Kennedys. It goes on and on. Many different kind of families all over the world, every country, every culture. The Medicis. Who else can we say? There's others I could say, but we don't want to get demonetized for ragging on people too much. But anyway, that's the book, and it's very well written. She's a good writer. Maybe I shouldn't even call this Garbaugust, because she really had serious intent with it. She was really trying to correct the record a lot of things, but it is very dishy, and she is a lively writer. So I would recommend it if you like that stuff, and if you don't get too angry about recent history. I'd give that a read. What did I say when I started out? I was going to do a wrap-up of everything for Garbaugust, because I don't think I'm going to finish anymore, but I'll leave it there. It's just, instead of what I said before, this is just a review of Maureen McCormick's book. I think I'd read more by her. She wrote a true crime novel about a crime. It was covered up in Alaska. It sounds pretty good. True crime, not true crime novel, true crime book, not a novel. But anyway, Ask Not by Maureen McCormick. And Maureen, did I call her Maureen McCormick through this whole video? I think I did. Maureen Callahan, daily news columnist and author.